Okay, this is Dr. Kraus with take 2 on how to install WiringPi for the Raspberry Pi from source via GitHub. I've rebooted my Raspberry Pi after expanding my SD card, so I've got enough room to do this. There are 2 ways to install the WiringPi package. One of those is to use pip, and that's addressed on raspi.tv, and it's pretty straightforward. So pip is going to install Python packages, and some developers don't keep their packages quite as up to date as they do their GitHub pages. GitHub is super easy to maintain. So I don't know if that's true with WiringPi or not, but I'm going to show you how to install it from GitHub, just because I think learning how to install these kind of things from source is just a really good experience. And I'm going to follow some instructions off the internet pretty much step by step by step. There's one step I think they missed. So you could argue that this is completely unnecessary, but if you're new to Raspberry Pi and you're just not comfortable with Linux commands yet, maybe watching me do it will build your confidence so that you can do this on your own in the future. So 4 steps. We have to install the Python development package, and then download and compile the C code, and then generate the Python wrapper, and then finally install the Python package. And the instructions are right on GitHub. So github.com/wiringpi/wiringpi-python. I'll put a link to that in the comments. If you click on that, it takes you over to this page, and if you scroll down, here are the instructions for getting things installed. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to skip a step. This takes slightly longer and doesn't depend on anything else. So I'm going to grab this first. We're going to install the Python dev package. I'm going to do this out of order just a little bit, just for the sake of timing. And so if I paste that here, it'll start installing those things. Now I'm going to, is it going to ask me first if I want to do it? Nope. I'm going to get a new directory. And so over here, I'm going to make a directory. So I'm going to use the makedir, M-K-D-I-R command. I'm going to call that dir git, and I'm going to go into my git directory. And this will be where I'm going to keep all the code that I get off of GitHub or wherever. And so now I'm going to come in here and do this git clone recursive command. And so if I copy that and paste it over here, it's going to go out to GitHub and check out the code from the WiringPi GitHub page. And so now if I did an ls, there's the directory, and then if I cd into that directory, there I am. And so that's the second step, was to cd into wiringpi-python. This command is already going. We can flip over here and check on it. Looks like it actually finished. And so now I'm going to cd down into that directory, because that's the next step here to go build the Python code. So if I cd into WiringPi and then look at what's going on in here, there's a script called build, and it said I should use the sudo or superuser do-build. So I will paste that over here. I could probably type that just as fast, but we'll do it anyways. And so now it's compiling all of the C code associated with WiringPi. And this is the one step that they missed. They tell you to go ahead and do this swig code to generate the Python wrapper for the C code, but you can't do that in the directory that we're currently in, because it's looking for this file called wiringpi.i, which I think stands for .interface, which is not here. So cd ... to go up one level back to where we were, and there's that interface file, wiringpi.i. Now I can paste that code. That generates the swig wrapper, and we're now ready to do the final installation, which is this command right here. And so that will generate some different files wrapping the Python or the C code in Python so that Python can import it. And when that finishes, we'll do a simple test, but I'll do a real test by blinking an LED in a later video tonight or tomorrow morning. Okay, so I'm going to cd back to my home directory. Now when you use WiringPi, you need to be in IPython as the super user, as root. So you need to do sudo IPython And I, out of habit, will do --pylab, although I might not have matplotlib installed on this SD card. But that sudo ipython --pylab, in a previous video, I had encouraged you to save as an alias called numpy in your .bashrc file. So find that instructions if you want to know how to do that. And all I'm going to do right now is just prove that I can import WiringPi. And if that imports without an error message, then the Python seems to be properly, the Python package seems to be properly installed. And from there, I will test it in a later video. Thanks.